Aze tuto uli kwa pani nani na tuwabeshe baboka mutinani success knowledge tiye pani bela kube uwa bakoni sensa tutawa abantu uwa bakoni sensa usakamana abantu usakamana.
Hello fam, the following video is a quick exam based preparation in mathematics for 1. Our topic for today in this brief video is sequences and series, and our focus is going to be on a type of sequence called arithmetic progression. Whether GCE exam based paper or an internal based paper, there happens to be a sequence in paper 1 called an arithmetic progression. When we talk about an arithmetic progression, it is a sequence which is either made by addition or subtraction of numbers. Like in this case, we may be able to have 2, 4, 6, and 8. This simply means to these 2, to get 4, there was a number they added. So from each and every sequence, the first number is going to be called the first term. And the first term is going to be denoted by A. So our A is 2. To this 2, to get 4, they were adding a 2, which simply means 2 plus 2 is 4, 4 plus 2, 6, 6 plus 2, 8. And thus, that's how that sequence was made. Here is a typical question that can be brought in an exam and where you are told in order to answer the question. And it's saying, given that the AP is defined by 3, 7, 11, then 15. Find 1, the common difference. Let's begin. So when we talk about an arithmetic progression, we've talked about either addition or subtraction. How we can tell whether the sequence has a positive common difference is when the sequence is increasing. If the sequence is decreasing, then that means the sequence has a negative common difference. So we have 3, then we have 7, 11, and 15. The first important thing is to identify our A is 3 because it is the first term. Then, considering the common difference, we have 4 numbers, which we are going to group as term number 1, term number 2, term number 3, and term number 4. So, to get the common difference, we subtract 2 values. So, we're going to say T2 minus T1. Or we can pick T3 minus T2. Or we can pick T4 minus T2. But always emphasize picking 2 numbers which are consecutive. We can't pick T1 and T3 because they are not consecutive, as in between there happens to be a number. So I'm going to say common difference is T2 is the term on the second position, being 7, minus T1, that's a 3. So our common difference is going to be 7 minus 3. This is going to give positive 4. So that's our common difference. If such a question arises in the near future exam, you need to know that the common difference can either be negative or positive, considering the fact that the sequence being dealt with is an arithmetic progression. So this is what we need to know. So for the first one, the common difference is 4. Then for the second one, we're saying find the next term. The next term is the number that follows after the last number in the sequence. Our last number is 15. The next term is the number that follows after 15. Since our common difference is 4, we will try 3 plus 4, 7. 7 plus 4, 11. 11 plus 4 will get 15. So when we talk about next term, we are going to say the next term means the last number in the sequence plus the common difference. So I'm going to say 15 plus our common difference is the number we are looking for. So the number being found was 4, then we're going to add 15 plus 4, the next term is 19. So this is how we need to understand it. Most importantly, you must be able to know after the sequence has ended, it ends with a certain number. That number, when added with the common difference, will give you the next term. So this is what we need to know. We go to B. So when we go to B, we are going to say find 1, the 60th term. So on B1, we are saying the 60th term. So if we are finding the 60th term, what's important is we are going to firstly be able to come up with the correct formula, which we are going to say nth term equals n plus n minus 1, then d. And the second important thing is to come up with the correct information that's going to be substituted or replaced on the variables here. So I'm going to say, in order to evaluate this, we will need a. When we say a, this is z, the first number. We will also need d. When we talk about d, it's the common difference, which is 4. We will also need the position where the number we are looking for really lies. And the position of the term is on the 60th position, so n is 6. We can now substitute. So t, where there is n, 6. Then where there is n, 3 plus, open bracket, 6 minus 1. Then the common difference is 4. Then we continue. 60th term equals 3 plus. Then we're going to say 6 minus 1 is going to give a 5. Then we're going to get a 4. Remember, this is paper 1, where the calculator is not allowed. To improve on your accuracy and time management, it is high time you needed to start proper practice today to develop self-reliance. So when you reach this stage, you cannot be able to add 3 with 5 or 3 and 4. You firstly have to multiply, afterwards you come and add. So we say 60th term equals 3 plus 4 multiplied by 5 is going to give us a 20. So lastly, the 60th term is 3 plus 20. We're going to get 23. So this is our 60th term. Most importantly, this formula is not given in paper 1. Where they could possibly give formulas could be paper 2. So the only way a person can be familiar is through proper practice to claim self-reliance. We proceed. So our 60th term is Z23. Be okay to grab a paper as you are watching in order to ensure that you are following closely, and afterwards relate the same information to some of the previous exam-based questions to prepare adequately for this year's exam. Then, afterwards, we're now going to say the expression for the nth term. When we say the expression for the nth term, we are going to find that this is a formula which is bringing about all the numbers that we have. We are going to say nth term equals a plus n minus 1, then d. Where there is a, we are going to replace with 3 as usual. Where there is d, we are going to replace with 4. Where there is n, they are now saying nth term. So this means this is unknown. We maintain any to be n. Please always make it a priority to understand nth term. That means the value of n is still n because we are looking for the number on the unknown position. So I'm going to replace. We say nth term, where there is n, we replace with n. Where there is n, we replace with 3 plus. Where there is n, we replace, that is with n minus 1. Where there is d, we replace with a 4. Remember, this is a variable and this is a digit. We cannot subtract. The best we can do, we are going to open up the brackets by letting 4 to multiply n and d 1. So I'm going to say nth term equals 3 plus 4 times n. We're going to get 4n minus 4 times 1. We're going to get a 4. Having reached that stage, it's very important to consider the signs, especially that the integers are different here. So I'm going to say nth term will collect like this. So it's going to be 3. Then this minus 4, we're going to bring it closer to the digit, which is 3. So 3 minus 4 plus 4n. Then nth term equals 3 minus 4 is going to give us negative 1 plus 4n. We could possibly end there or rearrange where we could say any term equals 4n minus 1, like that. So that's our correct answer. Then, lastly, we're talking about the sum of the first 10 terms. This question is very interesting as it is highly targeted in paper 1. The first thing, let's involve the correct formula. Sum of terms equals n over 2. Then I'm going to say 2a plus n minus 1. Then I'm going to say d, then close brackets. So I'm going to say a is 3. Then d is still 4. Then the value of n will correspond. They are saying the sum of first 10 terms. So the value of n becomes 10. So I'm going to say sum of 10 terms equals 10 over 2, which is going to become 2. Where there is a, we will replace with 3. So I'm going to say 3, then plus. Where there is n, we are going to replace with 10, being the number of terms, minus 1. Then, where there is d, we'll replace with 4. Then we close the brackets. We are going to divide 2 into 10. We're going to get 5. 2 times 3, this is going to give, that is 6. Then plus. Then this is going to become 10 minus 1, leaving a 9, but to be multiplied with a 4. When we reach that stage, we are going to say sum of terms. We're going to say 5, open brackets, 6 plus 4 times 9 is going to give us 36. So we put 36. Then we're going to say sum of 10 terms. This number should only come and multiply the answer. So it's going to be 5, open brackets, 6 plus 36, we are going to get 42. Now, lastly, sum of 10 terms equals 5 times 2 is going to become 10. We write a 0, carry 1. 5 times 4 is 20 plus 1. This is going to give us 21. So the sum of the first 10 terms is 210. Family out there at large, something to be able to be reckoned on is self-reliance. Remember, mathematics is not about knowing everything, and mostly it's everything about that reliance that you have to develop, that is that accuracy and time management in order to finish on time the questions that are going to be brought in paper 1. Make it your priority to make that is an effective study timetable with a few months that are left before the final actual exam day. For this very moment in time that we are being able to develop a reliance through sequences and series, ensure you relate the same information to some of the questions that have been brought about an arithmetic progression. So till in our next video, maybe under a geometric progression, for this very moment, it's a goodbye.
Azetuto ulikopa ni nani? Na tuwabeshe baboka mwatinani? Success, knowledge, tiye pani bela kube babo uwa bakoni sensa. Tutawa abantu, uwa bakoni sensa.